Okay, continuing on with the getting ready for calculus topics. This one is on solving quadratic equations, and specifically, it's on all types. So this is a quick overview. Each one of these can be broken down into several lessons. So I am not doing that. So we're not going over how to solve by factoring in all the different ways and so forth. So this is assuming, of course, the student has already learned this and we're just doing a quick reminder. So the methods are going to be solving by factoring, which can include any of the following: using the square root property, completing the square, or using the quadratic formula. So a student should be prepared and know how to use any of those methods. So I have put in some little notes to remind you what those methods are. And just to add in something also for the first one, to solve by factoring, we use something called the zero product property that says if A times B equals zero, then either A equals zero or B equals zero. So this kind of gives a quick little summary of why we can do each method. Okay, so if you need to refer back to those, you can pause the video and look at those notes. And then I also put in here the standard form of a quadratic equation. So you always want to make sure that you have this zero on the right and all of your terms on the left. So that's just a quick review of some notes. So look at those if needed. But we're going to start by doing a couple of examples. And so the first one, like we said, is to solve by factoring. And to solve by factoring, you actually want it to be in this standard form before you begin. And so you can see that this particular equation is not in that form. We do not have a zero on the right. We can distribute this y and then move your 14 to the other side. So it's going to look like y squared minus 9y. We're going to add over the 14 and then set it equal to 0. So this particular one turns out to be a trinomial. And so you should know how to factor trinomials. So if I go back up here, this is one of the types that we should factor. So factoring trinomials, in particular, this is factoring a trinomial when the leading coefficient is 1, which is usually the easier, quicker style. But you should also know how to do it if the number that is here, the leading coefficient, is not 1. So that might be something you want to review and revisit. So we're going to factor this. And we can factor this into a y minus 2 times a y minus 7. And then once again, using that zero product property from up above, you'll set each factor equal to 0. So y minus 2 equals 0 and y minus 7 equals 0. And solving each equation here gives you these two answers. So y equals 2, y equals 7. You can leave it like that, or you can put it in a solution set. And so that's going to be your answer for that one. Now, if we scroll down a little bit, we've got two different problems for using the square root property. And so you want to get it in the form where you have something squared equals a number. So if we go back, look at the square root property, something squared equals a number. That's the format that you're trying to start with. So not standard form on this one. Something squared equals some number. So if we look down here, you can see here's our something squared, right? The x squared. And so if we need the number on the right, we're going to add over the 54. And then you can also divide by the 3. So we'll have x squared equals 54 divided by 3, which is going to be 18. And then now we have it in the form we want. And so according to that, we can do the square root, but we know that x is going to be the positive or the negative square root of 18. And then simplifying that, we know that is going to be plus or minus 3 square root of 2. So it's actually two answers, right? The positive square root 3 square root of 2, and then also it could be the negative 3 square root of 2. Now, the second example is actually in the correct form already to use the square root property. So rather than multiplying this all out and trying to put it in standard form, you can recognize that you have something squared equals a number. And so we can go straight to the square root property and say that 2x plus 3 is going to be plus or minus the square root of 36. And then now you just finish solving this for x. So square root of 36 is 6. So we have 2x plus 3 is plus or minus 6. We are going to subtract 3. So it looks like that, and then divide by 2. So x is going to be plus or minus 6 minus 3 over 2. And then we can simplify that, because if you do the positive 6 minus 3, which is 3 over 2, one of these answers is going to give 3 halves. And if you do minus 6 minus 3, which is minus 9, you're going to get minus 9 over 2. So you can leave your answers like that, or we can just jot it down over here, like so. All right, that's the square root property. Now, completing the square, just as a reminder, the steps are up here. And then a shorter version is it looks like this. So for this one, if we're using it to solve an equation, we only want to deal with this part, and we want to make sure the coefficient of the squared term is just 1. So I'm going to move the 2 over to the other side. Now, also, since I know we're going to be adding something in, right? We're going to add something here. If you add something to the left, you have to also add it to the right. Okay, so we're going to take half of the b term. So that's half of 6, which is 3. We're going to square it. And so you're actually adding 9 to both sides. But then we factor the left side into x plus half of whatever b was, which is going to be x plus 3 squared. And then you can simplify because negative 2 plus 9 is positive 7. And so now you really have it in the form that we used down here where we were using the square root property. So completing the square just sets you up to be able to use the square root property. So we're going to say this is x plus 3 equals plus or minus the square root of 7. And then you can subtract your 3, and we write it like that. So, or we can put it in a solution set like that. Okay, so that's completing the square to solve a quadratic. And finally, the last example, just as a reminder, is we're going to use the quadratic formula, which is also listed above. Okay, so we're going to use our quadratic formula, and this one does have to be in standard form. So for factoring and for the quadratic formula, you want to make sure your equation's in standard form before proceeding with that method. So we are going to put it in standard form by distributing the minus 2x. So this is going to give us minus 2x squared. Then we'll have a minus 4x. I'm going to add over the 3 and then set this equal to 0. Okay, so if you have a leading coefficient that's negative, it's easier to make it positive. So we can divide the whole equation through by a -1. And so that way our leading coefficient will be positive. So we're going to say this would turn into a positive 2x squared. This will be a positive 4x, a minus 3, and 0 divided by -1 will still be 0. Continuing on, you may want to jot down off to the side that A will be 2, B is 4, and C is -3. So substituting into the quadratic formula, it should look like this. All right, so minus 4 times A times C, and everything divided by 2 times A. And so from here, it's just simplifying and cleaning it up, which usually uh, there can be lots of mistakes in here. There's a lot of opportunity for mistakes. So just be careful. So this is going to be 16 plus 24, and then all divided by 4. And then we just keep simplifying. So you can do it one step at a time. So that's going to be the square root of 40 underneath the radical. You should have the 40. And then we need to keep simplifying. So we'll just continue over here because the square root of 40 can be broken down to be 2 square root of 10. And then you could technically factor out a 2, or you can just divide every term by a 2. And so we'll have -2 plus or minus the square root of 10 over 2. So this should be your final answer. And we'll leave that in the solution set. Okay, so that gives you a quick overview of all different types of quadratic equations that you should be able to solve. So there's the 4 different styles. So figure out which ones you need to practice on and keep practicing.